Can Joe and Jane use a reverse mortgage to live their dream in the villages? All right, so I'm working with these guys out in a Midwest state, and they're sick of the snow. They're like, "Oh my goodness, the snow, the snow!" And they just want to go down to the villages. They're like, they've been there, they love it. Everyone down there loves it. They must not put fluoride in the water. That's why everyone's so happy down there. So, have you ever talked to anyone who lives in the villages who doesn't like it? I have not. It's crazy, man. And anyway, so they're Jones to get down there. They're 55, and they're like, "Dude, can we make this happen?" And I said, "Well, let's look into it." So now, just first of all, I've been working on this all morning. So anytime I talk reverse mortgages, it doesn't get a lot of views. So I don't expect a lot of views from this video, and that's okay. It's fun for me to do. And the people who are interested in the reverse mortgages will watch this for sure. So I appreciate if you give me a thumbs up. There'll be negative Nellies, always are. Anytime we're talking reverse mortgage, they say it's a scam. It's going to put you in the freaking poorhouse. They'll say you're stupid. You don't know how to manage your money. That's why you got to take reverse mortgage. You got to ignore these people, man. They don't know your financial situation, so just ignore them. I am getting reverse mortgage line of credit when I hit 62, unequivocally, dude. A reverse mortgage line of credit for your old buddy Josh is absolutely the way to go, and without question. So if I can't manage my money or if I'm stupid, okay, that's fine. I literally don't care what other people say. I just know that I want a reverse mortgage line of credit. We're not going to get a line of credit here today, but man, I tell you, if you don't consider that, I think you're making a mistake, but it's on you. All right, so let's look at what we got. Joe and Jane sample here. All right, so Joe and Jane sample. We're going to show you what's going on. They got a profile. Joe's got $2 million in his 401k and is invested in a middle balanced portfolio. So I'm only giving a 5% rate of return with essentially a 10% standard deviation. All right, so that simply means on any given year, Joe could lose 25% of his capital. Could be gone just like that. Man, we've seen that 2008. 2022, not so much, but still, now that 50-50 portfolio really didn't go down 25%, but still, that's what I like to use in here because I like to err on the side of caution, if that makes sense. All right, so Joe's got $2 million in his 401k. They're only 55 years old, dude. That's it. So they're like, oh man. So they got a long ways to go. We're gonna kill Joe off 5 years before Jane. All right, so Jane will be a widow for 5 years. All right, we're going to go over here to what they're trying to do. So they want to buy a house in the villages for $600,000 smackaroonies. They want to buy it 100% down right now at the villages. That's $600,000. I just figured it costs them, basically $10,000 a year for maintenance, insurance, property tax, the whole thing. All right, that might be off, but I don't think too much. All right, so they got healthcare costs. They're going to do regular healthcare. Basically, actually, I'll show you what I'm doing here for another expense. Because the only amount of money they got to pay for this mortgage, for this house, because they don't want to take a mortgage, is in their 401k. There's going to be a pretty significant taxable hit next year when they do this. So I'm giving them an extra $1,000 a month for Obamacare tax aid, or not Obamacare, but Obamacare premium cost, if that makes sense. Even though I'm still going to say they're on Obamacare, we're going to pay $1,000 a month once they're on Obamacare. I think we can get that down. But we're not going to do that because I want to show you what a scenario with a reverse mortgage can look like. Not doing a full financial plan here, just a scenario with a reverse mortgage. All right. So, and they don't spend much. They spend about $42,000 a year plus Obamacare plus taxes because they're like, look, dude, the reason we're moving to the villages is because we're on vacation all the time. We don't want to go to the villages and travel all the world. We want to go to the villages to be on vacation every day. So I said that makes sense. They're going to have the golf cart. Joe's going to take up golfing, and who knows what Jane's going to do? Knitting? I don't know. Maybe Jane will take up boxing. Who knows? All right, so we're going to go to retirement cash flows, and we're going to show you that that doesn't look good. You're like, oh man, only 43% probability. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. You can't do it. Stay in your Midwest state and deal with the snow. So you can see right here, they're taking a $900,000 distribution off their 401k. Now, because Joe's over the age of 55, it will be penalty free. So that's good. We want to make it penalty free if you can. So you don't want to roll that to an IRA. First thing is do not roll that to an IRA. Now, why are they taking $900,000 out? Well, because they got to pay the house. The house costs money. $606,000 would be the cost of the house if you inflate it by 3% a year. But they still got day-to-day living expense. They still right here spending $76,000 a year, $3,500 a month on their day-to-day, plus their health care for that 1 year is pretty significant, plus housing. So they still got $76,000. So right here, that's almost $700,000 alone. But they're going to have a massive tax hit too because they're taking $900,000 out of the 401k. All right, so when all said and done, they're going to reduce their 401k amount by withdrawals by almost $1 million, dudes. All right, they're reducing it by almost $1 million. That 900,000 is just because we're taking 900,000 from the 401k and we're dumping the taxable account, and that's what we're going to use to live on. All right, so that's bad, and you're like, man, that sucks. And the next couple of years, I got them just taking $70,000 a year from their 401k, penalty free, still taxable but penalty free, in order to live on. Now, that will affect their Obamacare. They'll be able to get pretty significant, cheap Obamacare at that stage. I'm not showing that. Again, this is not a full-fledged financial plan for this video. I just want to show you how reverse mortgage can fit in. All right, so what happens here is you see they got no income at all, none. They're just living off their 401k, until Social Security kicks in. Now, we're not giving them much in Social Security. Why? Because they're only 55 years old. So their Social Security benefit, I'll show you right here, I'm only giving Joe about $2,500 a month, right? And adjusted for inflation, I'll give him about $3,000 a month once he, basically 12 years from now. And then I'm just giving Jane half of his. So they're only going to get about $60,000 a year in Social Security. So Social Security, while great, why am I giving? And Joe makes good money. So why am I giving so little in Social Security? Because he went on SocialSecurity.gov, put his information there, said, I'm never working again. What is my benefit? And his benefit's a little bit higher in reality than what I'm showing you. But again, I like to err on the side of caution. I'm from Maine, dude. Cautiously pessimistic is what us Mainers are about. So once they're 67, they'll take Social Security and get about $60,000 a year. Not too shabby, but by then they need more than $60,000 a year. Why? Because look, their expenses are $88,000, $90,000 a year because of healthcare costs have gone up, inflated at 5.2%, 5.25%. Day-to-day living has gone up by 3%. So they need more than that. So they're going to have to pull it from their portfolio. And you see the taxes are quite low, and Medicare is, again, I already said that. So $34,000 a year is what they need from their portfolio. All right. Now, if we just do a linear 5% rate of return, they're never running out of money. But we don't do linear rates of return in financial planning. We should do Monte Carlos, which is a variable rate of return impacted by what? By the standard deviation. So here you can see huge drop in their portfolio amount. That's that blue line is the median. 50% of the time they have more, 50% of the time they have less. But once that drop kicks in, it's still going down until Social Security kicks in, and it's still going down, So by the time, let's see, this is going to be by the time Joe is dead. So Joe died right there. What's her name? Jane only has $65,000 left. That's her median liquid net worth. All right. Oh my goodness, that's why it's only a 40% probability of success, whatever it is. All right, let's go to. So what I want to do is show you what the net worth is, though. So Jane only has $65,000 when she's 85 years old. So a good chance she's going to run out of money. I can almost assure you she will. But her house is worth $1.41 million. That's inflated dollars. That's the equivalent of $600,000 today. But still, that's so. Has she died as a broke? No, she died with a house that's worth $1.4 million, or when Joe died. So what we do instead, we're going to come over here. And go to income. I just ran a quick reverse mortgage calculation when they hit. I just picked 72 for simplicity, and I think it was $2,500 a month is what it was. What I got on a. I get 20. Yeah, it's $2,500 a month. So we're gonna 3,000, 30,000 a year is what it was, and we're gonna do a $25,000 closing cost. We're gonna do an annual fee of $500 a month, and this. So basically, what I've done. Let me just say this real quick. I just want to make sure it looks right. Yeah, and a 7.5% of the villages. So let me just tell you what I've done here. So I went on a couple different retirement reverse mortgage calculators. They were a little bit different, but still, I'm basically splitting. Wade Fowles would only give us one option, and that's $24,000 a year. And like I was like, he didn't give us the 10-year option; only gives a term. I don't get that, but I don't know if they're adjusting the retirementresearcher.com reverse mortgage calculator, but it was anyway. So I used that, but then I used another guy. So he gave us about $35,000 a year. So I'm just splitting the difference, dude. I'm saying, okay, basically $2,500 a month. I'm using a 7.5% rate of interest. I'm closing costs are $25,000, which is higher than Wade or the other guy had. About a couple $1,000. I'm financing the closing costs into the loan. 7.5% is what that loan is growing by. The debt is growing by 7.5%. All right, so you can see that would be where a lot of the naysayers will say, well, your loan is growing by 7.5%, but your equity is only growing by 3%. I was like, yeah, I should say the equity. the value of your house is only growing by 3. Yep. And I just use a 72 as a random year. You can do it at 65. You can do it whenever you want. Remember what they're going to pay you on your reverse mortgage is based on your age and based on the value of your home too, by the way, just FYI, really the equity in your home. So I'm just using 72. Try something else is fine. And I'm using $30,000 a year. So now let's see what we got here. Instead of 40% probability of success or whatever it was, now we're up to, 78%. Interesting. And why would that be? Well, you can see we got killed here. And then once Social Security kicks in, we are leveling it off. And then once the reverse mortgage kicks in, our median net worth is 421. Our median net worth is 295 when Jane dies. So you can see what the reverse mortgage does. It just allows us to have a median net worth, the liquid net worth that just levels off. It's stable. This is the whole point about the reverse mortgage, stable. Now, 5% of the time, more than 5% of the time, Jane had no money when she was dead. No money. Her median, though, is still $300,000. And again, another 5% of the time, she had over $1 million. And so we're going to look again at cash flows, and we're going to look at the net worth. All right, watch. We're going to go to net worth. And we're going to show you that, all right, so here's the house, $600,000 of equity. And we're going to come down here, and here's the house, $1.6 million, and here's $1.4 million on the reverse mortgage debt. So she still has, it's about $150,000 of equity, but in this case, she still has over $1.2 million on and again, you don't want to look at that. I guess we'll use that for example. If she got 5% again, guaranteed rate of return, she'd have $1.3 million of liquid cash, which she doesn't. So we're not going to get 5%, but instead she'll have $150,000 of equity and basically $300,000 as her median liquid net worth. So this is, okay. So the other alternative would be she had no liquid net worth and she had a $1.4 million house. Now you can make a case she should downsize. I get that. You can do that. You can make a case for that. I'm just showing you how liquid net worth isn't all about net worth. You have to look at overall net worth. And if your liquid net worth is 1.4 million and if your net worth is 1.4 million and your liquid net worth is 0, that's a problem. You got to do something. You got to downsize. You got to take reverse mortgage, something. But that doesn't make any sense. You haven't run out of a net worth. You just run out of cash flow. Here's a dog. Anyway, so again, this is just an example of how it can work. And I'm not running line of credits, which I was these guys, I would do the same thing. When I'm 62, I'd run a massive line of credit as much as I can, get that puppy growing, which we did talk about, by the way. And then I tap into it later on if I needed to. That's if I needed to, by the way. Remember, I'm coming at you very conservatively. 25% downside risk on any given year in a Monte Carlo, and I'm only giving you 5% rate of return. I'm showing it to you. Not that you should go out and get a reverse mortgage. Everyone's situation is different, unique, the whole thing. But I'm just telling you, not to at least consider it. I don't understand. I just don't understand. But love your thoughts. Give me a thumbs up. God bless. We'll see you.